really wanted to just give you a chance, because all of us have watched this from the outside. This has been the biggest story in sports for the better part of a week now. The whole thing with Zion. Take us onto the inside of it, the conversations in particular you've had with Coach K.
Yeah, well, first of all, the moment that it happened, you have to remember, like, that's a 30 for 30 in itself. I mean, we're talking about the 44th president of the United States is there saying, oh my God, his shoe, Zion goes back. The entire team has no clue that he's not going to return until halftime when Coach K finds out officially and lets them know. And when we talked to Coach K in Syracuse, because I felt like we were just following the Blue Devils to the next stop, the first thing he did was kind of get his team together. So he got the freshmen together and wanted to meet with them. And he said, what did you guys know or understand about the situation? And essentially, they didn't know anything. And he said, that's on me, my bad, but I didn't know anything either. And so them kind of thinking through what's gonna happen next was what he wanted to focus on. And Coach K has said it, I've never dealt with anything like this before. And if you think about it, the only one that we can compare Zion to is maybe a LeBron James, and LeBron James didn't play in college from just a hype standpoint before going into the NBA. The
conversation out here on planet Earth and on all of those talk shows that you did then was, should Zion even come back? Did those conversations take place internally?
No, not at all. And I gotta be honest, like, in my heart, and having covered Duke and being around Zion, being around RJ, being around Trey Jones, all of the players on this team, he wants to play at Duke. And you have to remember, too, that you get better playing basketball. And that's something, playing for Coach K, a guy who's won gold medals, a guy who's won 5 national championships, you're gonna become a better basketball player playing under him.
Absolutely. And for Zion, great reporting, by the way. One of the things that jumped out at me is at Cameron, they don't have an MRI machine?
They do. It's next door.
Yeah,
it's about
inside.
50 yards away.
Okay. The other thing that fascinates me about this story is, what if Zion came back and decided he didn't want to wear Nike anymore?
Major issue.
How about that?
Issue.
But he won't have a choice, because Coach K and Duke get millions of dollars for him to wear that shoe. So that's the fascinating thing that I want to see.
And Jay Will, obviously, you played there.
Yep.
You know everyone there so well. You know Coach K so well. As you sort of have seen this thing develop now, they had the surreal thing that they were the team that happened to be in Syracuse, where the tragedy involving Coach Boeheim happened over the last couple of days. So it was just sort of, it has been a week unlike anything you could ever imagine for them. What is your perspective?
I actually came out of the weekend having a different narrative. A lot of people have just kind of put Zion Williamson in that spot to be the #1 pick in the draft. And RJ Barrett, who reclassified, who's 18, by the way, he should be a senior in high school, has been averaging 27, 10, and 7 over his last 3 games. And I say to you this, if you put Zion Williamson on that team, I think Zion actually benefits more from having RJ, Trey, and Cam, because you can't help off those guys, even though they're not shooting that well from the three-point line. But if you have RJ by himself, I still think RJ is getting you those type of numbers by himself, whereas I don't think Zion has the skill set to do so. RJ might be putting himself in the conversation.
Are you telling me RJ could surpass Zion and be the #1 pick in the draft?
Yes, and a lot of people are talking about it now, yes.
Okay, that's